Om Gyanantimrandhasya Gyananjanasrafya Chakshuramiddham Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanyam Navadvishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagatam Indradhi Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Gita Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sarvana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sarvana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschata Desadarine Panchakalpadarabhyascha Kripasindhubhyev cha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah He Krishna Kara Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpade Gopecha Gopika Kantaradha Kamta Namaste Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhantu Devi Pranamami Hare Priya Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamadhirayat Nishtaprayeshu Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavata Tavashlokya Prantinashtuti Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Hare Krishna everyone. So let's continue in the Canto 4, chapter 14, the story of King Vena. Anyone volunteering to read today?
Hey Krishna Prabhuji, I can do it, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So then can you quickly read from verse 1 to 22?
22, Prabhuji. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chapter 14, the story of King Vena. Text 1. The great sage Maitreya continued. O great hero Vidura, the great sages headed by Bhrigu were always thinking of the welfare of the people in general. When they saw that in the absence of King Anga, there was no one to protect the interests of the people, they understood that without a ruler, the people would become independent and non-regulated. The great sages then called for the Queen Mother Sunita, and with her permission, they installed Vena on the throne as master of the world. All the ministers, however, disagreed with this. It was already known that Vena was very severe and cruel. Therefore, as soon as all the thieves and rogues in the state heard of his ascendance to the royal throne, they became very much afraid of him. Prabhuji, if you can please scroll up. Prabhuji. Indeed, they hid themselves here. Indeed, they hid themselves here and there as rats hide themselves from snakes. When the king ascended to the throne, he became all-powerful with 8 kinds of opulences. Consequently, he became too proud. By virtue of his false prestige, he considered himself to be greater than anyone. Thus, he began to insult great personalities. When he became overly blind due to his opulences, King Vena mounted a chariot and, like an uncontrolled elephant, began to travel through the kingdom, causing the sky and earth to tremble wherever he went. All the twice-born Brahmanas were forbidden henceforward to perform any sacrifice, and they were also forbidden to give charity or offer clarified butter. Thus, King Vena sounded kettle drums throughout the countryside. In other words, he stopped all kinds of religious rituals. Therefore, all the great sages assembled together, and after observing cruel Vena's atrocities, concluded that a great danger and catastrophe was approaching the people of the world. Thus, out of compassion, they began to talk amongst themselves, for they themselves were the performers of the sacrifices. When the great sages consulted one another, they saw that the people were in a dangerous positions from both directions. When a fire blazes on both sides of a log, the ants in the middle are in a very dangerous situation. Similarly, at the time, The people in general were in a dangerous position due to an irresponsible king on one side and thieves and rogues on the other. Thinking to save the state from irregularity, the sages began to consider that it was due to a political crisis that they made Vena king, although he was not qualified. But alas, now the people were being disturbed by the king himself. Under such circumstances, how could the people be happy? The sages began to think within themselves, because he was born from the womb of Sunita, King Vena is by nature very mischievous. Supporting this mischievous king is exactly like maintaining a snake with milk. Now he has become the source of all difficulties. We appointed this King Vena of the state. We appointed this king, this Vena, king of the state, in order to give protection to the citizens. But now he has become the enemy of the citizens. Despite all these discrepancies, we should at once try to pacify him. By doing so, we may not be touched by the sinful results caused by him. The saintly sages continued thinking. Of course, we were completely aware of his mischievous nature, yet we nevertheless enthroned Vena. If we cannot persuade King Vena to accept our advice, he will be condemned by the public and we will join them. Thus, by our prowess, we shall burn him to ashes. The great sages, having thus decided, approached King Vena, concealing their real anger. They pacified him with sweet words and then spoke as follows. The great sages said, "Dear king, we have come to give you good advice. Kindly hear us with great attention. By doing so, your duration of life and your opulence, strength and reputation will increase. Those who live according to religious principles and who follow them by words, mind, body, and intelligence are elevated to the heavenly kingdom, which is devoid of all miseries. Being thus rid of the material influence, they achieve unlimited happiness in life." The sages continued, "O great hero, for this reason, you should not be the cause of spoiling the spiritual life of the general populace. If the spiritual life is spoiled because of your activities, you will certainly fall down from your opulent and royal position." The saintly persons continued, "When the king protects the citizens from the disturbances of mischievous ministers, as well as from the thieves and rogues, he can, by virtue of such pious activities, accept taxes given by his subjects. Thus, a pious king can certainly enjoy himself in this world as well as in the life after death. The king is supposed to be pious, in whose state and cities the general populace strictly observes the system of 8 social orders of Varna and Ashrama, and where all citizens engage in worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the particular occupations. O noble king, if the king sees, O noble one, if the king sees that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original cause of the cosmic manifestation, and the Supreme Soul within everyone is worshipped, the Lord will be satisfied. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipped by the great demigods who are the controllers of universal affairs. When he is satisfied, nothing is impossible to achieve. For this reason, all the demigods, presiding deities of different planets, as well as the inhabitants of their planets, take great pleasure in. Prabhuji, if you can please scroll up. Take great pleasure in offering all kinds of paraphernalia for his worship. Dear king, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with the predominating deities, is the enjoyer of the results of all sacrifices in all planets. The Supreme Lord is the sum. The Supreme Lord is the sum total of the 3 Vedas, the owner of everything and the ultimate goal of all austerity. Therefore, your countrymen should engage in performing various sacrifices for your elevation. Indeed, you should always direct them towards the offering of sacrifices. When all Brahmanas engage in performing sacrifices in your kingdom, all the demigods who are plenary expansions of the Lord will be very much satisfied by their activities and will give you your desired result. Therefore, O hero, do not stop the sacrificial performances. If you stop them, you will disrespect the demigods. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Satish Prabhu. Very nice. Yeah. So, how was it? What did you find?
Yes, Prabhuji, it was very nice, and it kind of emphasizes why the ruler should follow Sanatana Dharma. And again, not being political here, but last week we saw the new parliament, the way it got inaugurated. So it kind of just took me to the scenes when the ruler follows Sanatana Dharma, then demigods are happy, the supreme god himself are happy, and the people are happy. So not being politically oriented, but it just reflected to what recently happened in India, Prabhuji. Very
So let's begin to go for the details into it. So we are discussing about the story of King Anga. Yeah, in the last chapter we were discussing that King Anga was what they call after he had this son, he was thinking, oh, what did I do? So he was thinking, what did I do? Maybe people who do not have children would have actually prayed to the Lord, and as a consequence of these prayers and the mercy of the Lord, they're not having children. On contrary, I am having a child, and who is creating all kinds of disturbances. Just imagine a child killing children. When Vena was born, when he was sent to school, he was killing when he was with the playmates. No, yeah, and then he was not just disturbing them, but he was even killing, due to which the citizens were already disturbed, where Vena was present. And King Anga was thinking, oh, it's too much. I should leave the household business. And then he left home. I think if you remember, this is what we discussed last week also. And so he was very much disgusted with the son. Though he's coming from a very nice lineage, this is also what we will discuss next week. King Anga is connected to Dhruva Maharaj, who is a devotee, so which means Anga is a devotee. But how come that there is a son who is of such a ill qualities, that we see that because of very special arrangement where Sunita was is daughter of Mrityu, and the qualities that she have got into her son, in spite of, we know how Vena was blessed with a child. Does anyone remember? No one remembers? Yes or no?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. They were having a fire sacrifice, and from the fire sacrifice, that one man came and gave as prashadam, and then wife had it.
So there was Yajna Purusha. It was not just like, okay, it was not a seminal procreation, so to say, but was a kind of divine, right? Karpadan Sanskar is also very divine process of begetting children, and here there is also a different way of begetting a child by actually doing this yajna sanskar, and in that the Yajna Purusha has come. He has given this sweet rice. It was eaten by Sunita, and then what happened is that she became pregnant, and after that due course of time her son is born, who terrorized everyone. So yeah, thank you. So that made King Anga leave the home, and yeah, maybe that's the way. Yeah, so the mercy of the Lord can be seen in different ways. Something which is sweet, something which is not so sweet. In the case of, yeah, we see Dhruva Maharaj, the Lord said, don't come now. You be here, You take care of the kingdom, you enjoy all the comforts, then you come back. And in case of Anga, we see that yeah, the arrangement was that to leave everything and run away. So it's not one size fitting everyone. What is it called? One shirt, right? Or one size
One
fits
size,
everyone.
one size
One
fits.
size. It's not one size fits everyone, and that's why we should be very careful. I think I don't know. Yesterday also I was hearing to Vena Babu, Maharaj assistant, who was saying the dealings of Maharaj with different people in different ways. So there is no one way that okay. I don't know if it came across in the Srila Prabhupada Leelamrit that we cannot expect the mercy flowing in only one way. I'm trying to recollect the correct context, but it is in similar lines that we cannot impose our way of others. Yeah, I think this was what Jananimas Prabhu was also saying. Yeah, what is that biggest learning that he had being the assistant of Maharaj? He was saying that Maharaj never saw that someone is a devotee or a non-devotee, and he said he didn't expect that he is a devotee when he was answering Venuya Mataji's question in that context. He was saying that Maharaj still sees how to connect to everyone, even if one is a devotee or not a devotee. If not a devotee, how to deal with a devotee, how to deal. We cannot expect that, hey, I am senior devotee, someone is a junior devotee, or someone is not a devotee, but I am devotee, so I make him devotee and sees from those vision. So that was the topic. Anyway, we have not yet started this chapter. So King Vena, even if you remember in the seventh canto, where Yudhishthir Maharaj is asking Narad Muni that how is it that it's amazing, Lord is not partial, but he sees that Vena is favored, punished, and this is what we here read through this in the fourth canto, 14th chapter. So this all samvad is between whom? Maitreya Rishi and Vidura. So Vidura is asking questions and Maitreya Rishi is enlightening Vidura Mahajan. Yeah. So what happened is that Bhrigu, great sages, always thinking the welfare of the people in general, when they saw that in the absence of King Anga, there was no one to protect the interests of the people. This is very, very important. That is just like when we talk about a godless society, when we talk about a society where the king is not present, or if the king is not representing the Lord, then even it's not only, it's very obvious that it becomes a godless society. When the king himself doesn't believe in God, when king doesn't represent the God, then it automatically becomes a godless society. The current situation where we are, in a way, is that we are already in a godless society. Because the rulers are, so to say, devotees only for their own personal interests. And when so-and-so leader who comes, and then when he brings up religion as a means through establish dharma, then there are so many adharmic people around who will just throw all kinds of what do you call this? They splash all kinds of religious means to blaspheme and to emphasize the teachings of people who want to re-establish dharma. So this happens, and here we see that King Anga is gone, and then when that is not there, so it's very important that a country or a nation should have a ruler, and without which what will happen? The people will become independent and non-regulated. The reason why we are in this material world is because we need discipline. Without discipline, we can't do anything. We may think, no, I have complete control on myself. Whatever I want, I can do it. I will do it. I should do it. I must do it. But the bitter truth is, I cannot do it. Yeah, because why? The exact reason of we being here ourselves in this material world is because we need this reformation, this transformation, and because that is not happening, that is the reason why we need someone who can impose certain force to which we can um, lead a disciplined life. In the time of Lord Ramachandra ruling, at that time, that force was what? The force was love. Ideally, the force should be love. Just by love, everyone wants to serve the king. But when that love is not there, the discipline can come by strict and law and order. What do you call this? Regulations. So the great sages then called for Queen Sunita, and after taking her permission, they have established King Vena as a king, as successor. And then when this was happening, the sages, when they, why, I think that will come later, to actually help people. The sages have come, with Bhrigu Muni, other sages, everyone came, but the ministers, they know very well, oh, no, not this Vena. Vena is such a rogue. If he comes, everything will be disastrous. So they disagreed with what the sages were proposing, and yeah. So then, the reason why the ministers were saying, hey, it's very, he is severe and it's cruel. Therefore, as soon as all the thieves know that Vena has become the king, they got scared. And they became very much afraid. Indeed, they hide themselves here and there as the rats hide themselves from snake. Just like rats run quite fast than the snake, right? So similarly, the other thieves, they were thinking, oh, he is more dangerous than us. Yeah, he is more dangerous than us. If he sees us, this is what do you call? Have you seen this monopoly game or kind of a monopolic ideology where one wants to keep on winning and winning? For example, Alexander the Great, what he started doing, he started winning country after country so that he can become what? Alexander the Great. When he started growing, and everyone got scared, and then they thought, oh, what is better to surrender or better to hide ourselves? We are not going to win over him. He is too strong and he had too much power. And here Vena is powerful, cruel, dishonest. So at least if someone is having a principled life, one knows that, okay, he is doing so and so, they can predict. This Vena is hopelessly irreligious. So even it is a danger for us. King may follow some rules to punish us. This Vena will not do all that. As soon as he finds us, he'll just what? He'll kill us so that there is no chance that we can survive in his kingdom. So in that way, Vena, king, was a threat to everyone, not only the citizens, but also the thieves. So when the king ascended to the throne, he became all powerful with 8 kinds of opulences. So vibhuti, I think this is the word here used. Vibhuti vihi, I think. Vibhuti vihi, all right. Then king ascended, yeah. In this verse, the word Ashta Vibhuti vihi means by 8 opulences. The king is supposed to possess 8 kinds of opulences. By dint of mystic yoga, Raja Rishis, they used to have 8 opulences. I forgot the list of those. A Rajashi could also create a kingdom, bring everyone under his control and rule everyone. These were some of the opulences of King. King Vena, however, was not practiced in yoga, but he became very proud of his royal position nonetheless. Because he was not very considerate, he began to misuse his power and insult great personality. This is what happens when we think ourselves we are the most powerful, and that too, uh, expectations that I am powerful and everyone should obey me. Thinking that as our power, we may think that I can do anything. This is very, 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 very dangerous. If someone comes to power, he should be very careful. We know so many instances in the case of King Indra. When he became powerful, he couldn't even recognize who is Krishna. He thought, this boy is just a boy. How can he be so powerful? When one is becoming very, very influential, like Lord Brahma, he thought this boy, who is thinking? He's just a cowherd boy. I am a great magician. You see what I'll do? I'll take all of them. Then we know this Brahma Vimochana Leela that happened. This sense of feeling designated by a role is quite dangerous. As soon as I'm thinking that I am the creator, I am the CEO, I am that, I am this, we are caught up in that designation. With that designation, will spin a spell of Maya upon us and cover our real intelligence. And when our real intelligence is covered, what will happen? We'll fall down. What is that? What is this? Yeah, in Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, there is this Dhyayato Vishayan Punsan. There is this just contemplating on the objects of senses. Dhyayato Vishaya Punsan, Sangas Tesho Pajayate, Sangat Sangayate, Kamat Kamat Krodho Pajayate. So what is happening? Attachment, and then lust, and then anger. Krodha Bhavati Sammoha, this Krodha, and then leads delusion. Sammoha Mriti Vibramaha, make us mind, loss of memory. And then Sammohat, what is happening? Buddhinasho, and then Buddhinashat Pranashyati. Buddhinash, after the intelligence is lost, what is remaining? Fall down. So this is what happens in this order, the 8-step fold of fall down. Yeah, when we are thinking of 8 kinds of opulences, you should understand that these opulences are for a purpose of serving the people, not serving self. And this designation of being I am a king can make us risky to slip into this. I thought rather we should have the understanding that I am, my designation is only one and only one. I am servant of my spiritual master. Why? Because of him, I'm having this vision. So I am the servant of spiritual master. So if you remember in Mahabharata, when Arjuna was asked, what is your identity? Tell me your identity. He didn't say, I am son of the king of Pandu, who is a ruler of Hastinapur one time. No, he simply said, I am disciple of my spiritual master, Dronacharya. That was only identity. And that's why he is the greatest warrior. Okay, where we are. No, 8 opulences. Because of these 8 opulences, Vena became more proud. And then he became very overly blind due to his opulences. The opulences are very important because those gives us the substance to rule. But instead of using those opulences, if you don't use it properly, what will happen? Evam madanta, mad anda, blind. What kind of anda? Terribly blind. Anda itself is blind, and when we are talking madanda, is mada means madly blind. You may have heard madahasti, so the mad elephant. And This madness is coming from what? From power. When we have power, very interesting happens is that we this power makes us master of something. And when we think that I am the master, then we think that, oh, I am not the servant, because it can only be a master or a servant. Am I a master or am I a servant? We should understand that this master is a role of a servant to his master. Just like disciplic succession, how we are tracing to Krishna. Similarly, if I am a master, actually I am a servant to my master who gave me this, to my spiritual master. So in that sense, we can always, in whatever hierarchy, wherever we can go, we can always feel that I am just a servant of the servant of the servant, not that master of the master of the master. No, servant of the servant of the servant. So, evam madanda utsikto. Here is saying nirankusha. This nirankusha is also, or actually, utsikto is proud, and nirankusha. Ankush means anchor, if I remember correctly. Ankusha. Ankush is something like something that chain that ties. Ankusha means that uh, some chains through which you can control. Nirankusha is uncontrolled. And then Vipa, an elephant. So here this he traveled everywhere, causing the earth and sky to tremble. Rodashi. So that's what kind of inconvenience he was creating, and Vena prohibits religious activities. Now it's interesting now. See, because of this feeling that I am the master, whatever I do is right. That also, I mean, today we didn't discuss, or Satish Babu didn't read those verses that will come next week. Vena, what was his thought process will be discussed next week. But today we are still talking about that Vena prohibits religious activities. This is very bad. He prohibits sounding kettle drums throughout the countryside. He forbids all the brahmanas to perform sacrifices. This is too much. In other words, he stopped all kinds of religious rituals. Therefore, so this is the world is situation is so tense that at any moment governments may issue declarations to stop religious rituals. This is what I was referring. Some government may say, okay, you do this, but all of a sudden they say, don't build temples, don't do that. This is causing what? Disturbances in the society. People are not protected. They are not feeling protected. That's why in the name of secularism, what is happening? The idea was what? That everyone can practice religion has become that no one should practice religion because it's causing disturbance. First, let's take control of the country. When everything is peaceful, then you can practice your bhakti as long as it doesn't disturb. But there is nothing like that. Religion is a revolution. Religion is a movement. A movement will always wake up, and a wake up means always a disturbance, because we want to always sleep. We want to always sleep very comfortably with no disturbances. But as soon as such wake ups come, then government immediately what they do? Throw water on this fire of Jagrat. What do you call it? Jagran. That's happening. Yeah, that happens. So here what is happening? Therefore, sane people should execute Krishna consciousness very seriously so that they can go back home, back to Godhead, without having to further suffer the miserable conditions predominant in this universe. So we should be very, very, very vigilant, active, serious to practice our Krishna consciousness, whatever may happen. Whatever may happen. Just like a lover is eager to see his lover in spite of so many social boundaries. This lover want to meet his or her paramour. So for that matter, he is even risking his or her life to meet. Similarly, we should, Krishna is our lover. We want to love. We want to give all our love to Krishna. So we should find our ways, irrespective of what condition we are. We may know nothing. We can't give any excuses, because if Krishna wants, he can remove these disturbances. And if Krishna wants, he can bring these disturbances. Ultimately, it is Krishna who can decide what we want is the best. And we just continue to practice Krishna consciousness. By the way, if someone can let me know as soon as it's 8:30, I'll have to slowly stop. Let me know. And then the sages were discussing, what is this? Is this what we expected? Loka Vyasana, Mrishya Loka Vyasana, and then what is this? Kripayochit. So he was just kind of, the sages are so compassionate, they wanted to, the sages have no business of engaging in the worldly activities, but for the welfare of people, they have appointed Vena as the king. But see what is happening here. So all the great sages came together after observing cruel Vena's atrocities, concluded that a great danger and catastrophe was approaching the people of the world. Thus, out of compassion, they began to talk among themselves. For they themselves were the performers of sacrifices. It is very important. It's not that, oh, let the world do whatever it wants. Let a community of sages can be who can always keep on doing so that it will cause good. No, everyone has a responsibility to protect the nation, protect their own God consciousness. It's not that only one group will do, we'll just support them by giving some money or not causing disturbance to them. We can enjoy ourselves, we can plan our own vacations. No. Before King Vena was enthroned, all the great sages were very much anxious to see to the welfare of society. When they saw King Vena was most irresponsible, cruel, atrocious, they again began to think of the welfare of the people. Ordinary karmis are busy acquiring money for sense gratification. Ordinary jnanis are socially aloof when they speculate on liberation. But actual devotees and saintly persons are always anxious to see how the people can be made happy both materially and spiritually. This is very, very important. Why? Because we are seeing that the karmis are always busy. They don't want to listen. And Gyanis, they know these people won't listen and I don't have anything with this world. Let me go deep inside, deep, 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 so that I can become liberated. My liberation is most important. But the devotees, they're out of compassion. What they see is, hey, so many people are suffering. We have to do something so that they can get Krishna consciousness in their hand and then they can advance. The people are in danger from both sides. This example is what? What is that? Ants. Well, I'm just finding the word from full direction, from both the directions. Alas, from both Lokasya, people are in general, Vyasana, law from both sides. You read somewhere ants. That's what I'm trying to see. Where is that? Yeah.
Yeah, fire is on both sides.
No, I see this, but I'm trying to find where is that word in the translation. Whatever translation. Okay, anyway, I'll find later. So, but the analogy is so nice that just imagine the ant is on the wooden log and this log is burning from both sides. Can it go anywhere except, burning? So this king is already dangerous, and also the thieves and rogues are dangerous. So who can give protection? There is no one to give protection. Not only protection, if they are just doing their own business, that's okay. But what they are doing, they are burning everything. They are kind of disturbing whatever is there from the citizens. They are taking away. So Arajakam. We would have heard Arajaka in our own newspapers, read, and Arachaka. What kind of Arachaka is going on? Rajaka means Raja means one who is protected. Arajaka means a kingless society, being without a king. Thinking to save the state from irregularity, the sages began to consider that it was due to a political crisis that they have made Vena king, although he was not qualified. But alas, now the people were being disturbed by the king himself. So, under such circumstances, how could the people be happy? Uh, and in purport, Prabhupada is mentioning that this law and order of everything maintained is no more maintained. This King Vena is a kind disturbing so that there is no more Varnashrama system, and that is why there must be a good government to see that the citizens are actually executing the religious rituals, and thieves and rogues must be curbed. And sometimes what will happen is, yeah, you may have heard, what is it called? Jihad. This war is there, this war is there. Yeah, just read these lines. There must be a good government to see that citizens are actually executing their religious rites, rituals, right? The so-called jihadis, what are they doing? They want to get that freedom so that the citizens can practice religion. So nice, right? Isn't it same in line to Bhagavatam? Yeah, but we must understand there must be a good government. It's not that everyone can just take over the power in their hands and do whatever they want. Only who is the person to decide what is being done is correct or wrong? A government should be there. A governing model should be there. Governing principles should be established. Governing strategies should be in place. When nothing is there, what will happen? Only violence. And only violence is what? Only disturbance. So here we see there must be a good government to see that citizens are actually executing their religious rights, and thieves and rogues must be curbed. And now, when this is done, the people can advance peacefully in spiritual consciousness and make their life successful. So ultimately, all these religious wars are towards what? To establish peace. But actually, if we see the religious wars are more happening on what? To position their religion as the supreme religion. It is not to establish the real religion, to establish their religion as the supreme religion. So, and then mischievous king, Ahirya, Paya, Posham, what kind of this? Now, what we have done is we have given milk, just like a snake is given milk. And what is happening? That is nurturing the snake, but actually snake is color, envious, snake is poisonous. So what will happen? Is it going to become a saintly snake? No, it will still go and harm. And this kind of anartha against the interest, the sages began to think within themselves, because he was born from the womb of Sunita, the king Vena is by nature very mischievous. Supporting this mischievous king is exactly like maintaining a snake with milk. Now he has become a source of all difficulty. Just imagine the snake is becoming bigger and bigger. Rather to starve it to death, it is being nurtured to become more powerful. And then what is happening? All this power is causing disturbance. A serpent who is maintained with milk and bananas simply stores poison in his teeth and awaits the day to bite his master. This is what happens. And then we appointed this king of the state in order to give protection to the citizens, but now he has become the enemy of the citizens. Despite all these discrepancies, we should at once try to pacify him. Now, the sages want to pacify a king who is already mad. But in so we may not be touched by the sinful reaction caused by him. So now the sages are thinking, we caused this disturbance, and whatever the share of his sin we may have to bear. So we should not do it. Saintly sages elected king to become king, but he proved to be mischievous. Therefore, sages were very much afraid of incurring sinful reaction. The law of karma prohibits a person even to associate with mischievous individual. Very clear. if we are understanding Shastra, there should not be any question. As soon as when it comes, why should we give up association of material people? Uh, it is dangerous for us. Why? Maybe we may get some material benefit, but we are leading to sinful life. Me and Rupa, we were discussing the other day that to gain some name and fame in this world, if we are supporting bad, we don't know what are we going to face. This came due to some political, national political disturbance. Yeah, we should be very careful whom are we supporting. If we are, I think yesterday only, Apu Prabhu is here. So we were discussing about how corruption in India, in Bangladesh, and other countries is a big disturbance. And then in that context, we were discussing this, that how it's not that it's a must, we have to rot in that society. We have to see how to minimize our contribution supporting such a society so that we don't have to face the consequence of such mischievous dealings that are happening in the world we are living in. Ultimately, King Vena became so mischievous that saintly sages actually became afraid of becoming contaminated by his activities. If we are very careful, this is what we were surprised. We are so much amazed to see how corruption is still growing, rather than it should give a sense of a fear that, oh, if I do this, tomorrow I'll suffer. Now I may enjoy all comforts, but because I'm doing irreligious activity, tomorrow I'll suffer. That is not there anymore. People are thinking, oh, I am special. Somehow I will be given special treatment so that I will be specially recognized for what special things I am doing here. No, it's not like that. Even sages themselves are scared. Who are we? We should be more careful. The sages tried to pacify and correct him so that he might turn from his mischief. But what happened? He didn't. If needed, let us, I think we are in this verse, they are even deciding to kill. If king is not listening, then the only solution is then by our prowess we shall burn him to ashes. See what is happening. Sages are very, very generous, very generous in a way that they are going out of their main job of always remembering the Lord, serving Him, but they are also for the welfare of the people. What they are doing, they're even ready to kill. The question may come, okay, by killing this, are they not going to incur a bigger sin? Yeah, because he's a king, representative of the Lord, and if killing a king, representative of the Lord, is it not a bigger sin? Anyone has this question? I don't know. No one has this question. Can the Brahmanas think so badly? Killing, is it not violence? So no one has this question. Then we go ahead. So, thus by our prowess we shall burn him to ashes. Yeah, someone has a question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I think regarding the same topic, I think in Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj class in Cologne, I think there was this verse in Bhagavad Gita where I think when the need arises, a Brahmana can also turn into a Kshatriya.
Yeah, but here it's not just that, but when we are talking about the sin, why is the sin not incurred? That's the question. Yeah. Anyway, we park that. I think next week you will definitely know the answer, because the sages themselves say why it is not sinful. I know the answer, but we'll discuss.
Okay, Prabhuji.
So indeed, the Brahmanas do not even have the power to perform sacrifice in which animals are put into fire to attain a new life. I think this is a very important point that comes in this connection for For the one who are joining in last week, they may benefit. What is happening is, we know this bali that happens in the sacrifice. Saintly persons are not interested in political matters, yet they are always thinking the welfare of the people in general. This is very important. Saintly people are traveling all around the world, doing harinams, doing rath yatras. Why? Why? Because for the welfare of the people. At least for one time in their lifetime, they hear the name of the Lord, and then that's it. Krishna, please take care of him. Now, uh, your holy name is vibrating in their ears, so please benefit them. Consequently, they sometimes have to come down to political field and take steps to correct. This is what Dinath Prabhu you said. The example of Chanakya Pandit. Yeah, when the, what is his name? Devdutt? No. What is the king before Chandragupta Maurya came? Dhananand. Yeah, Dhananand. Right. Dhananand was so much intoxicated with the power that he was thinking, he also had these great ministers, and he even started punishing. I think if you have seen Chanakya, yeah, read about him, you will see this Dhananand Magadha, who was ruling Magadha, and he wanted to rule, and then he was always intoxicated with wine and women. Health is anyway there. So he was not seeing the calamity that was coming from Alexander at that time, or the Porus. So all these things, the political system was totally disturbed. And then what happened? Then Chanakya Pandit, son of Shaktar. Come on, I'm trying to recollect my yeah, long ago. I saw all the episodes of Chanakya non-stop in one weekend, non-stop. So might be mixing up the names. But yeah, in the essence, as Vena Prabhu, you were mentioning about ministers taking over, but they didn't do the revolt, but their focus was what? To re-establish dharma. And this is also approved, but it's not approved that as say Brahmins or ministers of class, they just become Kshatriyas. No, that's not their job. They only provide the intelligence required for the king, how they have to rule, but not they themselves become the king. So here, coming back however, in Kali Yuga, saintly persons are not as powerful as they previously were. They used to be able to burn any sinful man to ashes by virtue of their spiritual prowess. This is what we will see, how Vena is killed. Now, saintly persons have no such power due to the influence of age of Kali. Indeed, the Brahmanas do not even have the power to perform sacrifices. Whatever these yajnas, yagas that we are seeing, even to do this, the Brahmanas should have some power, not the power of memory, of remembering all the verses. The power of what? Bringing back a living being to life. As part of this yajna, what is happening? Animal is thrown into fire. And then what is done? After this, the Brahmanas are tested. Are they capable of bringing back this animal back to life? Only then they used to understand, now we have qualified Brahmanas who can really perform yajna, and now let's go to perform the yajna. Otherwise, there is no question of even doing yajna. So just like, this, of course, not a right example, but in the pharmaceutical industries, when a new medicine is invented, then they give shots to rats and, frogs or different animals, so that the trials are not directly on humans. Otherwise, it would be a catastrophe. Yeah, you would have seen so many human races would have perished for nothing because of these pharmaceutical experiments. So in those days, the Brahmanas, how great the Brahmana, how powerful the Brahmana, how qualified the Brahmana is, was tested through this one way, where an animal, holy, was thrown into fire, and with the power of mantras, the Brahmanas used to bring back this animal back to life. And even those days, the animals were selected. What kind of animals? Those animals which are very, very, very old. These animals which were about to die, these animals were offered in sacrifice. Why? So that the new animal, that spirit, is given a new body which is young. Now we are only talking. It looks very, very theoretical or unbelievable, but that's what was done. So that's why in Kali Yuga, this fire sacrifices and all these things uh, are, yeah, not so much required because of inability to have such a purity, such quality, such power in executing. Under these circumstances, instead of actively taking part in politics, saintly persons should engage in chanting the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. By the grace of Lord Chaitanya, by simply chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the general populace can derive all benefits without political implications. All benefits without political implications. So we don't have to wait for a government that promotes religion. We don't have to really wait for the time to come where you can peacefully do bhakti. By chanting the names, everything will manifest. So this is what is called. And then having thus decided, the sages approached Vena, and with concealing their anger, concealing their real anger. This is also, yeah, I know it's 30. Thank you, Sadish Prabhu.
Yes.
Concealing their real anger, they pacified him with sweet words and then spoke. What did they spoke? We will discuss tomorrow. Next Saturday, and then go through the remaining part of the chapter. No? Because today, we'll have to run in an hour to reach Cologne Rath Yatra. Whoever is around, please come. Please also invite everyone who are around. This is the day where we bring the name of the Lord on the streets. It is said that Jagannath Ji is arranges this Rath Yatra as a means of facilitating so many people who think temple is a something we are not interested. The Lord Himself says, is that the case? I'll come out where you are. I'll see with my with my eyes wide open. And it is said that Lord, whoever the Lord glances, his life is successful. So this is the Jagannath Rath Yatra that is happening in Cologne. Starts at 11:30, I think. And please inform your friends, circle, everyone. Of course, if they have already wonderful plans for this sunny weekend, still persuade them to come and benefit and take part in Rath Yatra. Yeah, if anyone want to have for the details, yeah, I think as is Swapna Mataji, you can get it from Recitation Mataji. If you do not have the details where it is taking place. Emagori Mataji, please share in your circles. Same thing also. I asked Deepali Mataji to do. I don't know if she's here. Yeah. Okay. Parth Prabhu, you are coming?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhu, I'll come. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, try to bring few more with you. Yeah. Okay, then thank you so much. Or let me give 2 minutes of little time for questions. Any questions in this part till where we have discussed? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you Prabhuji for wonderful class. Prabhuji, about this, the Brahmanas in earlier time were able to give new life to the sacrificed animals. They say that devotees are even above or ahead of Brahmanas. And why the devotees, we have not seen example, they bring the life back.
You're asking why are the devotees not bringing back people to life? Yeah, Narad Muni also brought if you see in the case of Chitraketu, right? Chitraketu was wrote, I think that will come, I think after 5 chapters. Chitraketu was so much disturbed that his son, one and only son, was poisoned by one of his queens, and then he died. And he and his wife, or yeah, the one begot the child. I forgot her name. They were so much, yeah. So then Nagamuni said, "Do you want? I can bring back him to life," and he brought him back to life.
Mhm.
Then this
So,
guy started saying, "Who are you? You are my parents? I don't know. I have traveled in so many bodies, one after the other. I don't remember that."
Mm.
So bringing back to life is not the business. Bringing back to home is the business of devotees.
Mm.
Yeah.
Guruji, this is so in the Kali Yuga, this is almost no example of any Brahmana or anyone.
Yoga, no. As of, I mean, I didn't hear someone being brought back. I think that is the reason it is strictly prohibited to perform these fire sacrifices and Bali, all these things, because politicians, even today, to date, these are practiced. I remember in Telangana and in Nepal. I think in Nepal also, right? Do you remember? There was this big, what is the king name called? Dharmendra.
Yeah,
Dharmaraj. Right?
Gandhimai.
What is that?
It's a Gandhimai temple in Nepal, and there used to be a huge sacrifice.
That was cows. Or, yeah,
But after this earthquake, they stopped it.
correct. That's what happened immediately, right? Within few days
Yes,
of
that's
that.
one immediate
Because,
effect.
yeah. So we don't know what kind of disturbances are we creating. We are thinking, and some selfish people are killing animals for their own benefit. I know that there are these tantric vidhis through which if you do so and so thing and so day of so and so night under so and so tree and so thing, so many things, right? And you'll get something. Uh, yeah, maybe the demigods are forced to give such facilities, but what is the use when the consciousness is not changing? Huh? And the Brahmanas are also using this. This is what happened in the case of before Buddhism came. There was this so many animal sacrifices happening so much because so many people were strongly bombarded with this. Just like what is this called? Scams, paunch scams, right? Satish Prabhu. Like if you do this, you will get that.
It's some mutual benefit to, I don't know.
No, not mutual benefit. Just like launching scams, like if you Amway schemes or something like this. That
Yeah,
if you,
multi-level marketing, Prabhuji. Yes,
multi-level marketing.
Yeah.
Those days, Brahmanas were doing multi-level marketing. That what they used to do is, yeah, if you want to become, yeah, I have solution for that. If you want to become, I have this solution. They were telling so many solutions out of their own sustenance, because at that time the Brahmanas were regarded great, and some selfish interested, what they started doing is also benefit from that. Just like now, if you see Ayurveda, there are real practitioners and there are also fake practitioners. They also have what do you call this, family lineage of tracing back for many generations. They also say we are coming from many generations, but some who really want to cure is really curing, some who is behind business interest is doing it. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Gaurav Babu, answer your question.
Yes, Prabhuji. So yeah, in Kali Yuga it is prohibited, and yeah,
Yes.
my example
Yeah.
that
Otherwise, why will Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inaugurate Sankirtan movement? He would have just inaugurated, sacrifice movements more, right? It's not that at that time it was difficult. At not that time there were no Brahmanas. It's not like, oh, Brahmanas are not there. That's why this is not practical. He saw that, yes, for Kali Yuga, the best thing is Kalo, Sankirtan. In Kali Yuga, we perform Sankirtan. Yajna.
oh yes, Prabhuji.
And often which Maharaj uses this example very often. I think Giriraj Maharaj often gives that in Satya Yuga how it was, in Dwapar Yuga how it was, in Treta Yuga what it is, in Kali Yuga what it is, and yeah, to remind us that Sankirtan movement is the best. We don't have to really look into the other options at all, because this is the sublime and the simplest and the best.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, one more general question I had, that the Kshatriya or Shudra or Vaishya, they, for their work, they don't have to worship the Lord or do devotion work. But Brahmanas, do they not have to by default do bhakti or worship the Lord? And if they do that, then there is no any difference between Bhakta and Brahmana, right?
Every class of men has to engage in sacrifice, and depending on which varna is one, that is a sacrifice that they do. Yeah. So Brahmanas also are engaging in what is it, Yajan, Yajan, Patan, Patan. That is their occupation. It's not that they don't do anything.
Yes, but Prabhuji, the Jajan, Patan, Patan is related to Lord. Unlike the Kshatriyas, they deal with the administrative or kingdom things.
Yes.
So, I mean, when one does Jajan, Patan, Patan, it does not mean that one has to become devotee to do that.
No, there are different levels of needs, right? So in a society, just like there is a kindergarten, primary school, upper middle class, or what do you call this? Upper primary school, high school, universities. So one is saying about Yama and Niyama. It's not just already straight away bouncing into the godly philosophy. And this one who is teaching the Vedas, they are still explaining how to understand who is you, the soul. Because in today's universities, that's not happening. But the proper Gurukul and all the system is to still bring God consciousness. Yes.
Okay. So Prabhuji, the Brahmanas, so no, in normal sense, it is referred to those who are more in sacrifice or kind of ritualistic.
No, not only that, but main Brahmanas means teaching Vedas. And in that Vedas, there are different Karma Kanda is also coming, Jnana Kanda is coming.
So there is
Different limbs,
then maybe little bit tinge, but may not be full.
So ultimately, all these are a kind of a ladders through which one can raise to this highest platform of self-realization. So, and then that is what, just like if nowadays you see, right? So there was I don't remember, 2 weeks back, there was a professor from Bonn. She called me and she was asking, we want to visit your temple because we also want to give a flavor of what is Bhakti Yoga to our students. So, a teacher can share knowledge of multiple things in that Bhakti Yoga as well.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Last question related to topic.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I think just to add on to this current discussion, so in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Canto 1 itself, basically, I think for being a Brahmana, it is only through our service that one becomes a real Brahmana, or we will become Dvijabandhus if nobody is following the devotional service, then we become Dvijabandhus. So I think Srila Prabhupada in his purports in first canto clearly establishes the actual meaning of Brahmana. What does it mean? Yes, Prabhu.
But still, again, there are still Brahmanas who are, as what Bhagavan Prabhu is asking is about those Brahmanas who are still following Vedic rituals at all. Yeah. So it's not like Ashwadhama who left everything and led a irreligious life. No. So one who is just born of a Brahmana is not a Brahmana. So that is what
yes,
is Bandhu there.
Yes,
and engaging in the activities. And he's asking what kind of activities, what comes under what.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Hare.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for joining, and see you soon. Vanchakalparabhyascha kripasindhubhyo patidanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantha Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.